Well, shalom, shalom, everyone, and welcome to From Pain to Passion, Purpose and Power with yours truly, Dee Dee Cooper. This is still the day that the Most High has made, and I certainly am rejoicing and I'm glad in this day. And I trust that you have had a wonderful Shabbat. This was the Sabbath day, and according to the Hebrew calendar, it's already the next day or first day. So I hope that you have had a wonderful Sabbath day and or a wonderful Saturday for those of you who do not observe the Sabbath. I greet you all in the exalted name of Yeshua HaMashiach, and I am just expecting so many great and wonderful things from the Father, and I pray that you are as well. I hope that your week has been great and that you've experienced the undying love of the Most High this past week. And then as you look ahead to the next week, I pray that you are so filled with anticipation for the miraculous, for breakthroughs, for victory, for power, and for favor and elevation and promotion and all of the good and perfect gifts that can only come from above, from the Father of lights. I greet you all again in the name of Yeshua, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the channel. And for those of you who have not done so already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the channel and then hit that notification bell so that you are notified each time a new video is uploaded. I attempt to upload every Sabbath day, so we'll be looking for new material from the Most High each and every week. I also want to take the opportunity to invite you to like the videos. Give us the thumbs up, like the videos. Please feel free to comment. I read every comment and I respond to them. And share the videos on your social media platforms to those who you know will be blessed by this platform. I know that it is such a blessing. I'm being blessed as the Ruach HaKodesh, who is the Holy Spirit, begins to reveal His Word and enlighten and make the Word clear to me. And it's an honor for me to share that Word with you. Also, join us on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is under the same title, From Pain to Passion, Purpose and Power. And this is an interactive group page in which I post questions. There are no right or wrong answers. I'm not giving you a quiz or a test or anything like that, but it's an opportunity for us to share with each other because, the Word tells us that, they were overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of their testimony. So it's good to hear your testimonies about how the Most High is guiding and leading you on your journey as you ascend from any place of adversity or pain to arise up to that place of passion for the Most High as you walk out your Yah-given purpose endowed with His power. So please join us on Facebook. Again, I ask questions. This is a chance for us to interact with each other. It's a chance for me to get to know all of you. Glory. And also, we are on Instagram and we're also on Twitter. So definitely feel free to join us on those platforms as well. There's some wonderful upcoming projects that I'll be working on this year. Some of them are just blowing me out of the water. There's new music that will be released. I'm working on a podcast, and there's some other avenues that the Most High is opening up. He's so faithful, and I'm so grateful for all of the avenues that He is opening up for us to share this wonderful word of the Most High with you. So definitely join us again on our Facebook page. Join us on Instagram. We're on Twitter, and also subscribe to this channel and hit the thumbs up, like the videos, and also hit the notifications bell so that you're notified each time a new video is uploaded. Now, as I state in all of our videos that I do, we are on a journey. When the Most High formed you, and He told Jeremiah the prophet over in the first chapter of Jeremiah, He says, but before you were even in your mother's womb, I knew you. And He knew all of us, even before we were that seed that was planted in our mother's womb. The Father knew us. The Word of Yah tells us over in Romans chapter 8 that He foreknew us. He knew us before the foundations of the world. He predestined us. Each and every one of you has been created with purpose. Yahweh doesn't make mistakes. The Most High, He's perfect in all of His ways. His judgments are right. So nothing takes Him by surprise. Not one birth was an accident. All of us were created with that plan and that purpose that Yahweh has planted within each of us. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. So no matter how you got here, you're here. And now that Yahweh has placed you here, He has placed you on a path, a course. Proverbs tells us that it is Yahweh, it is the Most High who establishes our goings. He establishes our path. The word tells us that it is not in us to know our own way. We don't know the way. We don't know the course, but the Most High does. He knows every bump. He knows every detour. He knows all of the hiccups along the way. He knows how many times we're going to fall. He knows how many times we're going to get up. He knows the end of all things. And Isaiah 46 states that He knew the end even before the beginning. So your life is a beautifully woven tapestry that the Most High has laid out, and He's placed you on this journey, and He's fashioned your steps. And as you walk along, He knows the steps that you would take. You mean to tell me, Dee, that the Most High knew of the misfortunes in my life, the painful situations in my life, the uncomfortable circumstances that I found myself in? You mean to tell me that the Most High knew about all of the adversities that I would be challenged with in my life? He knew all of the destructions that I would encounter. He knew all of the bad decisions that I would make. He knew all of my failures and shortcomings. And the answer to that question, beloved, is yes. Yes. Yahweh knew it all. He knows everything. Psalm 8, the psalmist says that Yahweh is mindful of us. Another psalmist wrote, I believe it was David, that says that if I could count the thoughts that the Most High has for me, there would be too many. The word talks about His manifold thoughts towards us. So He's mindful of you. Even when it looks like He's nowhere to be found, beloved, He is there. He promised us in His word. He says, lo, I am with you, even until the end of the world. He says, I will never leave you, nor will I forsake you. He is mindful of you. He knows your circumstances. He knows your situations. He knows your stumblings. He knows your uprisings. He knows it all, and nothing takes Him by surprise. So He is mindful of you. He's mindful of the journey that He has placed each and every one of us on. Now, my journey is not your journey. Your journey is not your brother's journey or your sister's journey. It's an individual course that the Most High has placed us on. And by His mercy and His grace and His foreknowledge and His infinite wisdom, He's causing us to walk out our journey. But now there are things that occur and that happens to us along the way. Some of them are not pleasant. But the Most High, because He loves us so much, He does not want us to stay in that place where we're down. He wants us to take those situations, cry out to Him, develop that love and that passion for Him. And as you do that, He will begin to reveal Himself more and more to you. And in that revealing, He will begin to uncover the purpose that He has for you. My apostle said something so poignant a few weeks ago. She said that anything that you just think about, positive thing now, that you think about over and over and over again, if you see yourself doing something great, and that's the thing that consumes you day and night, that's your purpose. So now it is up to you to seek the Father, get His wisdom, get His plan, and walk in His timing so that He can fulfill that vision that He has given you, so that you can bring it forth, so that you can give birth to it at the appointed time and walk it out. So all of us is on a journey. Each one of us is on a specific journey. Now, on this journey, as we make this progression in our lives, the Most High, because He loves us so much and He wants us to elevate, He wants us to go upward, He wants us to ascend. By the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Holy Spirit, He's beginning now to reveal those things to us that may be hindering us or stopping us altogether, or as my apostle said this morning, having us to go backward instead of moving forward, not even standing still, but those things that are causing you to move backward. He loves us so much that He's revealing those things to us so that we can repent of them or turn away from those things, denounce those things, and start walking toward the mark, like the Apostle Paul said in Philippians chapter 3, so that we too can press towards the mark for the high calling, that prize which is in Yeshua HaMashiach. So we're ascending, we're going up, we're moving. 2 Corinthians 3:18 talks about how we go from faith to faith and from glory to glory. This is the path that the Most High has us on. It is not His desire that we remain stagnant, beloved. It is not His desire that we go backward, but it is His desire that we grow. First Peter talks about growing in grace and in the knowledge of Yeshua HaMashiach. He wants us to grow in grace. So He's been uncovering some of the things, not all, and prayerfully, as you fasting and praying and seeking the face of the Most High, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, will begin to illuminate and to reveal those things in you that may be causing stumbling blocks in your way, that may be taking you off course. He wants to get you back in line. So when He reveals those things to you, don't shake it off. Acknowledge it. Repent of it. Turn away from it. And then start moving in the direction that the Most High wants you to move in. Now, we've covered several of these stumbling blocks. We talked about self-esteem, loving yourself, and how not having confidence in yourself is a stumbling block. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you'll never move forward, because you don't count yourself worthy of obtaining the blessings that the Most High has for you. And nothing could be further from the truth. He says in His word over in 1 John, He says, I wish above all that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. In other words, He's saying, I want you to have a good journey. He tells us over in Jeremiah that He has good thoughts towards us. His thoughts towards us, they're not of evil, but they're of peace, and they're good thoughts. And those thoughts that He has toward us is to bring us to the expected end. He has an expectancy of us. He has expectations of you. Yeah, you. He wants you to move up and to move forward. So He's been talking to us about those things. Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 3 talks about how we're supposed to lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily entangle us or beset us, and that we're supposed to run the race with patience. And I use the analogy of a sprinter. If you watch the Olympics, when you see a sprinter, they don't wear a lot of clothing. They don't wear a whole lot of clothing when they run, because clothing weighs them down. They dress very lightly so that they can move with ease. And this is what the scripture is telling us. Lay aside those things that are entangling you so that you can move with ease, so that you can press on towards that mark for the prize of the high calling in Yeshua. So we talked about unforgiveness. We talked about love, how we're supposed to walk in love. We just concluded a series on the big three. And we talked about these three major hindrances: fear, doubt, and unbelief, that will literally stop you in your tracks and prevent you from moving forward. And also, there's an end to unbelief and fear, as we discussed in the prior video. Go back and listen to those videos. I know you'll be blessed. Now, today, we're going to touch on a topic called, and the title is Watch Your Mouth. Watch your mouth, because your speech, a lot of you, you're defeating yourself even before you start by what's coming out of your mouth. James talks about how can blessings and curses proceed out of the same mouth. One day you're encouraged and you're wanting to move forward. The next day, with your mouth, you're speaking against the very vision that the Most High has given you. And you're not going to go anywhere with that. So today's topic is watch your mouth. Now, I'm a psalmist and I love music. OJs used to sing back in the day, I love music, any kind of music, right? I love just about all kinds of music. Some, but most of the types of music, I enjoy music. And I'm a child, I grew up in the 70s. See, I'm dating myself. And I used to always say that the soundtrack to Shaft is one of the baddest soundtracks you will ever hear. And there's a little part in there where Isaac Hayes says, Shaft is the bad, and the women say, shut your mouth. Well, today I'm not saying shut your mouth, but I'm saying watch your mouth. When you start speaking against and anything that is not positive or any words that are not filled with faith, I am admonishing you to watch your mouth. Watch it, because you're hindering your acceleration. You are hindering your progress by what's proceeding out of your mouth. Now, Luke, the 6th chapter and the 45th verse. Now, I'm going to read this out of the Amplified, because as I say in my previous videos, that the Amplified brings the word and makes it clear, because it breaks it down to our vernacular that we use on an everyday basis. So it's not the Elizabethan English that you read in the King James, but it puts it in today's language so that you'll get a clearer understanding as to what the scripture is saying. So I'm going to read Luke 6:45 out of the Amplified. And this is what it says. It says that the intrinsically, or the man who is just innately, by nature, a good man, produces what is good and honorable and moral out of the good treasure stored in his heart. And we've explained that the word heart is translated as your mind. The mind, not the organ that pumps the blood through your body, but your mind. So it says that the intrinsically, or the man that's good by nature, he produces what is good and honorable and moral out of the good treasure that he has stored in his mind or in his heart. And the intrinsically evil man produces what is wicked and depraved out of the evil that is in his heart or mind. For his mouth speaks from the overflow of his heart. The King James says, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Whatever is overflowing in your thoughts, that is what's going to come out of your mouth. Yeshua says in the word, it is not what goes into a man that defiles the man, but it's what comes out of the man that defiles him. Your words have power. Words are seed. And whatever is in you is going to come out of you. It's going to come out of your mouth. Now, use an example. Years ago, I worked at a healthcare facility and I cared for patients with traumatic brain injury. And one of the things that we learned in dealing with these patients, they used to say a slogan, it's not all broken. In other words, there are parts of that person that was still there. The person that was there before the accident happened, that caused this trauma to their brain. There are bits and pieces of that person that's still there. One of the clients that was there, I won't say her name, but she was a classic pianist. Now, after her brain injury, her speech was impaired. Her vision was impaired. Her cognitive thinking was impaired. Her short-term memory was impaired. But when she sat down at the piano, there was a piano in the cafeteria, and you put a piece of music in front of her, and she could play Mozart and Beethoven and Bach, Chopin. She can play this music as if nothing ever happened to her. Why? Because that is what was in her. It wasn't affected by the accident. Likewise, on the other hand, there was a man that I cared for. He was in the more medically challenged part of the facility. Now, before the accident, he worked for a major firm, which produces a lot of the products that we use today. He worked for Procter & Gamble. He was a very high up executive for Procter & Gamble before the trauma. But remember, words are seed. And those words, those thoughts can be embedded in your subconscious. And at the appropriate time or the appointed time, whatever is there can come up, even if it's in the recesses of your mind. So this man that worked at Procter & Gamble, this very high up, he was an executive, had a very high position, lived in a mansion up north, but he had a very nasty accident, car accident, and it affected his brain to the degree where he was incontinent. He lost a lot of his cognitive reasoning. His body was seized up. He couldn't use his muscles. His muscles were very rigid. Now, when he was an executive, I don't know how he greeted the other people that he worked with. But somewhere down the line, there was some seed planted in this man. And every time he would see someone of color, the words that were planted in the recesses of his brain came out of his mouth. Why? Because it was already in his heart. It was already planted in his mind. And so because that was in the abundance of his heart, his mouth spoke it out. Some very evil things. And people would be astonished as to how could a man that made all of this money be so evil? And I said, because it was always there. So whatever is in you, the word of Yah says, out of the overflow of your mind, your mouth is going to speak. Your words express what's in your mind. Have you ever gotten to a discussion with somebody and they blurted something out of their mouth and said, oh, I was just playing. I didn't mean that. Yeah, they did. It was already there. That was in their heart. And they actually just spoke what was in their heart. That seed was there. Whatever is in your heart comes out of your mouth. Now, this is why it is so very important, beloved, that we renew our mind. This is why the word tells us to be renewed in our mind. Now, the word tells us over in Ephesians, and I'm going to read that. Ephesians chapter 4, I'll be reading verses 23 through 27. The fourth chapter of Ephesians, verses 23 through 27. Let me start at 22. And it says that ye put off concerning the former conversation or lifestyle, the old man. So this is something that you have to do. You have to put off the old man. Yahweh is not going to do that for you. That's something you have to do. Remember, he's given us all things pertaining to life and godliness. So you have to take this off. This is your decision now. That you put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. So the old man, your old way of thinking, those old nasty thoughts, that stinking thinking is corrupt. So you have to do something with that corrupt thinking. He says, Put off the old man. Okay? You do it. Verse 23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Take the old man off. Just like you take your coat off. It's cold here where I am. So you take off your coat and put it away. Take off the old man and throw it away. Throw it away because it's corrupt. And be renewed. Don't just stop there. Don't just take off the old man, but take it a step further. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man. So you took off the old man, right? You're renewing your mind, being renewed in the spirit of your mind. But now you have to do something else. You have to put on the new man, which is after Yahweh. He's created in righteousness and in true holiness. And then he says that you're supposed to put away lying, all of that stuff. That's the old man. Putting away lying. Speak every man truth with his neighbor. For we are members one of another. And be ye angry, but don't sin. Neither let the sun go down on your wrath. Neither give place to the devil. But the first thing you have to do is take off that old man with his deeds. Put on the new man and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Romans chapter 12 talks about how we're not supposed to be conformed to this world, but we're transformed by renewing our mind according to the word of Yah. How do you renew your mind? You flood your mind with the word of Yah. Ephesians talks about how we are washed and cleansed by the washing of the water by the word. Wash out those old thoughts and flood your mind with the word so that when you open your mouth, there is an abundance of the word. And instead of speaking the filth, fear, doubt, unbelief, uncertainty, and all of that, when you open your mouth, when there's a wealth and abundance and the overflow of the word is what's going to come out of your mouth. Isn't that wonderful? Proverbs 4:23 says that we're supposed to guard our mind. We're to guard our mind, it says, with all diligence. At all costs, guard it, keep it, watch over it, protect it. Put a garrison around it. Put a barrier around it so that no evil will be able to penetrate your mind. For out of your mind, out of the heart, flows the issues of life. Now, I want to read Proverbs 4:13. And again, if I'm looking away, it's because I'm turning to the scriptures, as I believe in the scriptures. Now, I say it back when I first started this platform that I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist or any of those things. I'm not a counselor. I'm not any of those things. But what I am a minister of reconciliation. I am a minister of the gospel of Yeshua. And I know that in the scriptures is a solution for every situation that you will face in your life. It will give you the solution as to how to live in victory in every area of your life. And this is why I stand upon and stand by the word, because the word of Yah is infallible. And in his word, there's peace, there's healing, there's joy, there's restoration. There's all of that right here in the scriptures. St. John 6:63, Yeshua says that the words that he speaks, the words that Yeshua, who is the living word, the words that he speaks, he says, they are spirit and they are life. There's life in the word. So in the scriptures, you can bring life to any situation that may seem dead or dismal. That's why I stand on the scriptures. So I'm going to always read the scriptures, and I'll use quotes from other sources, but it's the word that's going to bring life to your situation. So Proverbs 4:13, it says, take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her for she is life. So the word is telling us to hold fast to instruction. In the word, there's instruction. This is our roadmap. This is Yahweh's instruction manual for our lives. You know how you buy a car and they give you that instruction booklet as to how to operate that car? Well, the word of Yah is our instruction manual, and in it gives us the instructions as to how to maneuver in this life with success. Yahweh's word does. Now, what does it mean to guard? It means to watch over in order to protect or control. So you have to protect your mind. Protect it. Why are you protecting your mind? So that your words will line up with the word of Yah. So that your words, so that the overflow that comes up out of your mind and the word that comes out of your mouth is full of Yahweh's words. So it means to watch over in order to protect or to control. You can control your mind. You can control what comes out of your mouth. That's why I said, watch your mouth. You guard your mind. You renew your mind by the word of Yah. These are things that you must do, beloved. He has given us his word. Now we have to take the word and apply that word to our lives so that our way can be successful as we ascend from pain to passion, walking out purpose with power. You don't want to just walk in purpose, but you want to do so that you're effective in other people's lives. It means to take care of. Take care of your mind. Watch what you put in front of your eyes. Watch what you listen to. Guard your heart. Guard your mind. It means to safeguard. It means to preserve. It means to barricade. Put a barrier between evil and your mind. Put a garrison around about it. Build a fortress around your mind. Words have power. Now I'm going back to Proverbs. I'm going to be in Proverbs for a bit. The 18th chapter of Proverbs. And I'm going to read the 21st verse. Proverbs 18 and 21. It says that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Death and life. Your words can either produce death or your words can produce life by what comes out of your mouth. This is why it is so important to watch what you say. Watch what comes out of your mouth. What did Yeshua tell the devil when he was up on the mountain, when Satan tempted him and told him to turn the stones into bread because he was fasting 40 days and 40 nights? Yeshua says, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yah. Yahweh's word is always flowing. It is always giving life. My apostle says that Yah's word is always pregnant. It's always giving birth. Speak life. One day you're excited about the vision, and the next day you're defeating yourself by what comes out of your mouth. And the Most High is saying to you today, watch your speech. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. My mom used to tell us growing up, she says, if you don't have anything good to say or positive to say, keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything at all. Just be quiet. Same thing here. If you don't have enough faith to speak positive words over yourself and over the vision that the Most High has given you, be quiet. Find some scriptures on faith. Open up the word and read the scriptures audibly. Read them out loud, because faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing the words of Yah. Now remember, Yahweh's word, according to Luke chapter 12, I believe, the parable of the sower, Yeshua identified what the seed is. He says the seed is the word of Yah. So as you're speaking words of faith, you're planting seed. And the seed of the word must produce. Isaiah 55:10, it says that Yahweh's word will not, it shall not, it cannot return unto him unaccomplished or unfulfilled. Anything that the Most High speaks has to produce, because his words are life. His words are spirit, and his words are life. Beloved, if you want to walk out purpose, you must align your words with Yahweh's words. Your words have to be aligned with what the Most High's word says. If you're not certain, go on Google and look up scriptures on faith, and it will give you, just read those scriptures out loud until they're planted in you, so that when those thoughts of doubt come, you can drive it out with the word of Yah. Now remember, in Ephesians, it talks about the armor of the believer, 6th chapter of Ephesians. It talks about the armor, the helmet of salvation, right? The breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, your loins girt about with truth, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. He says, and the sword of the Ruach, which is the word of Yah. The Most High's word is a weapon. So if you don't have any words to say that are positive concerning yourself, concerning your situation, concerning your circumstances, concerning your finances, concerning your purpose, get some scriptures. Arm yourself with the word of Yah and align your words with his words, so much so until the word will flush away all of those negative thoughts. My apostle did a teaching years ago, the power of a positive confession. Start writing down positive things. Write down what you want to see your vision look like. What do you want your life to look like? Hebrews, the 11th chapter and the 3rd verse talks about that how Yahweh spoke and the worlds were framed by the words that he spoke. He spoke, let there be, and what he spoke manifested. You have resurrection power on the inside of you because the Ruach is within you, and you have the power to speak words, audible words that can change your situation. Case in point. Now, I work a very labor-filled job. My job is pretty laborious. It's a very physical job. And I found myself, man, I don't like this. This is for the birds. Oh. Most High checked me, says, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Every time you say something negative, that is exactly what you get. And it's the truth. So I had to change my speech. So I began to say, I'm the queen of this. This is what I do. I'm the queen of this. This is not going to defeat me. I got this. And lo and behold, I began doing my job and producing. Why? Because I had to change my speech. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Proverbs talks about how you're snared by the words of your mouth. Your words can produce a trap for you. Your words can entangle and beset you. Your words can set you back. Your words can stop you from moving. Your words can produce that spirit of fear that we know does not come from the Most High. Your words have power. The 3rd chapter of James talks about the tongue is a little member, but it can destroy nations. The tongue, it's wicked if you don't tame it. You have to train your tongue to speak the word of Yah. How do you train your tongue? By aligning it with Yahweh's word. Aligning your thoughts with Yahweh's word. I'm going to go to Proverbs 13, verses 2 and 3. And it says, a man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. He that keepeth his mouth keep his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. And that is a Selah right there. That means pause and think about it. What is the word? It says that the person that can guard his mouth, that can watch over his mouth, that keeps his mouth, he saves his life. But the one that opens his mouth wide, that's the person that's going to have destruction, according to the word of Yahweh. Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter, verses 1 through 3. Ecclesiastes. This is so important that we get this. And it's so simple, right? But so many are missing the mark. So apparently this is what the Most High wants us to deal with. So Ecclesiastes 5, and I'll be reading verses 1 through 3, and I'm in the King James. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, and be more ready to hear. Stop moving around so much. And be ready to hear the words of Yah. Ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Verse 2, critical. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. Let your words be few. Don't be so quick to open your mouth. My mom used to say, you better think before you speak. Think before you open your mouth, because your words will lay a trap for you. Your words have power. Isn't that something? Words are seed and they produce. You can have what you say. When we talked about doubt, we were over in the 11th chapter of Mark, and Yeshua was telling the disciples that you can speak to the mountain and you can tell the mountain to be thou removed and be cast in the sea. If you doubt not in your heart, you have the same power, beloved. You can speak to mountains and declare that they be cast into yonder sea. If you are forgiving and you're walking uprightly before the Most High, then you can speak to mountains. You have power in your mouth. You do. You do. Now, Galatians, the 6th chapter, verses 7 through 9, talks about, Yahweh is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that is what he's going to reap. Whatever it is. Now, most people like to, use that when they want the Most High to go get somebody who's done them wrong. Payback, vengeance. Yeah, vengeance belongs to the Most High. But did you know that when you sow words of fear and doubt, you reap that harvest? That's not just talking about, payback. It's talking about seed. Whatever you sow If you sow words of doubt, that doubt is going to manifest. If you sow words of fear, that's what's going to manifest. But if you sow words of faith and power and victory, you will have power and victory. You will have the manifestation of what you are standing in faith, believing Yahweh for. Your words must be saturated in faith and saturated in Yahweh's words in order for it to produce the harvest that the Most High wants you to have. Yeah, He has an expected end for you, but what is your expected end for you? What do you expect for your life? What kind of world are you framing by your words? What are you speaking over your life? Is it calamity? Are you sabotaging the vision before you even get started by telling yourself that you can't do it, by already anticipating failure before you even get started, by allowing fear to take a grip and a hold of your mind so that you don't even attempt to move forward? What worlds are you framing? Your vision is your world. What words are you speaking over that which the Most High has given you? One plants, another waters, but Yahweh gives the increase. What kind of seed, what kind of word are you planting? What words are you speaking to frame and to form your worlds? You can frame your world by the words that you speak. I shared a while back that one of the covenant partners at our ministry, she's in fashion. She was a supermodel. She was a catwalk model. She was a model, and she orchestrated our fashion shows that we would have at the ministry. And she gave us an exercise. She says, look at yourself in the mirror. And what do you see in the mirror? Do you like the image that you see in your mirror when you look at it? And I want you to walk this catwalk like you love what you see in the mirror. That was a great exercise. Because at that time, I wasn't too much in love with myself. That boy, has time changed. I love this sister this day. But your words have creative power. You can create and form your words. You can say, let there be, and it will be. Now, will there be obstacles that will come in your way? Of course. Would there be stumbling blocks along the way that will try to thwart the vision? Of course. Will there be negative things that will happen, or even negative words that people will spew out of their mouth as darts to get you to believe, fear, doubt, unbelief, and to stop you? Of course. But whose report are you going to believe? If the Most High gave you the vision, He's powerful enough to use you to bring it to pass. You have to believe in the vision that He has given you, and then take the word and frame your world. You have that power and you have that authority. What are you speaking to manifest your vision? I know a dear sister, and she's doing some phenomenal things. And one of her posts says, I'm unstoppable. Me too, sister. I'm unstoppable. The only person that can stop you is you. And one of the ways you stop yourself is by what comes out of your mouth. So watch your mouth. And if you don't have anything positive to say about yourself, write a confession. Tell yourself who you are in the Most High. Get some scriptures about what the Most High says about you. And speak those words out loud. In our ministry, we have confessions of faith. And we stand on those confessions and we speak that word. And Yahweh is bringing that word to pass. He's bringing the vision into fruition. Speak the word. Write you out a confession. Don't allow your words to be filled with fear, doubt, and unbelief. Yahweh created you with purpose, beloved. Numbers 23:19 says that he cannot lie. He is not Adam, as my apostle taught. He's not man. He can't lie, and he cannot fail. His word cannot return unto him empty. If he said that he will perform it and he will do it. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Yahweh told Abraham, I couldn't swear by nobody else. When he cut covenant with Abraham, he put him to sleep. He says, this I have to do myself. His word is infallible and it is immutable. And if he spoke it, he will bring it to pass. If you line up with Yahweh's word. Now, you're sitting on it. Psalms 103 says that there are ministering angels that are just waiting to hearken to the voice of Yahweh's word. They're waiting to bring your vision, the ministry that you have, your business, whatever it is. They're waiting to bring it into fruition. And you're sitting around him and you're hawing and speaking everything other than the word. They minister to the heirs of salvation. They go forth when the word is released out of your mouth. You put a voice to Yahweh's word and they take, oh, I hear the word, and they go forth and they bring that thing into manifestation. Speak the word. Yahweh always performs his word. Joshua 21:45. In the King James, it says, there failed not one aught of any good thing which Yahweh has spoken unto the house of Israel. All came to pass. Every good thing that the Most High spoke came to pass. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to sabotage your vision. Yahweh said it. He's more than able to bring it forth. So instead of speaking those words of frustration and failure and doubt and unbelief, learn how to do like David did and encourage himself in Yahweh. You're not going to always have a cheer team around you. You're not going to always have a hype man with you. You're not going to always have supporters near you that you can grab a hold of at any given time. You may not have that. So you're going to have to learn how to encourage yourself and to speak words of encouragement to you. I look in the mirror and say, come on now, girl. Me and Yahweh, we got this. I am more than a conqueror through him who loved me. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Behold, Yeshua said he's given me power or authority over all the power of the enemy. Nothing by no means shall hurt me. No evil shall befall me. No plague shall come nigh my dwelling. Learn how to encourage yourself. Watch your speech. 1 Thessalonians 4:11, it says, study to be quiet. Study. Practice just not saying anything at all. Learn how to be quiet. Let your words be few. Ecclesiastes says that a fool is known by the multitude of his words. A foolish person is one that's just blabbing all of the time. My mom used to always say, you want to identify somebody? Let them keep talking. They're going to eventually identify themselves. They're going to show you exactly where they are by their speech. Their speech will give it up all the time. So watch what you say. Speak what you desire according to the word of Yah. Listen to yourself. Speak the word. Speak words of faith, words of power. Write a confession. The Most High told Habakkuk, he says, write the vision. Write your vision down. Make it plain. Keep it before you and water it with prayer and praise and worship. Be careful of who you share the vision with. That's very important. Be discerning in this season. You can't speak your vision out to everybody because everyone is not in your corner. You'll be amazed at who is in your corner, and you'll even be more amazed as to who's not in your corner. Watch your mouth. You can't speak the vision to everybody. Study to be quiet and ponder it in your heart like Mary did. Remember, he who guards his mouth preserves his life. And he who opens wide his lips, they come to ruin. Yahweh is very serious about the words that we speak. Over in Matthew, the 12th chapter, Yeshua says that every idle word that is spoken shall be judged. Yahweh is going to judge your speech. Every idle word will be judged. That's just how serious words are. Watch what you say. And I'm going to leave you with a couple of quotes. And Napoleon Hill said something. He says, think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another. Your words, not only do they have power, but your words have influence. You can influence people by what you say. Remember the old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words can hurt you. Words can kill. So be mindful of what you say. Another quote, the words that you speak will become the house that you live in. The words that you speak will become the house that you live in. Remember, you're framing your world by the words that you speak. And another quote says, the smarter you get, the less you speak. Wise people don't say a lot. I think of my mom. She's a very wise woman. Her words are very few. She's not a chatty Cathy. She speaks and she keeps it moving. And the next thing you know, she's manifesting. Then she'll say, look what Yahweh did. The Most High told me to do this, and look. And then you see the manifestation of it. But she doesn't utter idle words. Her words are few. She's a very wise woman. And I'm learning to be like her. The smarter you get, the less you speak, and the more you pray. So stay tuned, beloved, to next week. Next week, Yah says the same. There'll be a part 2 on watch your mouth. And I'll give you some examples in scripture of people who have spoken positively and got a positive result, and those who spoke negatively, and see what happens to them. But in the meantime, I pray that you have a blessed week. I know this was a long teaching. The teachings are getting long because the Most High is dealing with us. He wants us to get it. He really does, because he loves us, and I do too. So until next week, I pray that miracles and favor and blessings and opportunities, advances and advantages and promotion and elevation goes before you on this week. And I pray that the Most High's countenance will shine upon you, and that you will learn to order your words according to the word of Yah, and that you would speak as Yahweh speaks, and that you believe the words that he has spoken over your life, because they're good, his thoughts towards you. They're not of evil, and they are to bring you to an expected end. Until next time, beloved, shalom, shalom. Grace and peace be unto you.